Hi, Mitchell.
Hello, Ashley.
Welcome back to the retreat.
Good to be here again.
Nice to see you. So tell me, you guys have had one heck of a year. So high five, first of all. I love being surrounded by success. That's a privilege. So tell me a little bit about 2014 for you guys.
I was thinking about having Tim Castry come up and answer that for me. Sorry, 2014?
Yeah.
Look, it was terrific. We grew people-wise about 100%, revenue-wise significant growth as well, beat all of our numbers. We added some terrific capabilities on the publisher side. That's become about half of our business now, is not brands but publishers. And what can I say? We're just blessed and delighted.
I want to know why. Why the growth? Tell me what the momentum is in the marketplace.
Well, you know, I think it's a lot of factors. Obviously, as you've heard some other guests say today, there's a lot of investment from brands and from others in branded content, and that's our specialty. So it's longer form video and also driving experiences on clients' pages. We've seen a dramatic increase in requests from our clients to have that experience happen on their page, not just in some player. And our ability to do that, I think, was a tremendous driver of success for us.
Okay. So tell me about the publisher product a little bit, because this is fairly new to market, and it sounds like it's growing at a pretty good clip. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, it was an insight that we had toward the end of 2013 that brands and others were going to want these experiences, branded content experiences, beyond just a video, which was always our stock and trade, but have this stuff happen on their pages. And when we created that ability to make that experience happen and do it reliably and in a clean, truthful way, because of course that's our entire ethos, it just exploded. And publishers have that need too, to bring quality audiences to their sites at a particular time and be able to rely on the traffic. I'll drop the F-bomb, fraud, without that. That has been the impetus for that growth.
And I mean, what is the publisher sort of, I mean, is the motivation monetization? Is the motivation that they, is it page views? Is it traffic? Like where, what's the primary KPI for those publishers that are coming on board and using your platform? You know,
a lot of them, we're helping them get from a desktop web mindset to a mobile mindset. And as you know, we've invested a lot in our SDK and in growing our supply side from mobile applications where there's a tremendous amount of audience that is difficult to tap.
So dive into that though. Take me, what are those, tell me the deltas between those mindsets.
Well, so the web is becoming kind of like AM radio, and that's not disparaging to AM radio. All these years later, it's still important, and I don't think the web is dead, but I think the emphasis is going off of it significantly into mobile devices, which are more and more of our attention. Now, 87%, according to Flurry, of what happens on a mobile device is in an app. It's not on the web. So it's a much more difficult and complex thing to have an integration.
So responsive isn't enough? Is that what you're saying?
Responsive is not enough.
Okay.
It really isn't. And again, it's not to say that the web isn't important. It is vitally important. However, you can't ignore that 87%. But it's harder because you can't just throw a piece of JavaScript code like you can on the web to an app publisher, an app developer, and have a relationship. You need to have an SDK that gets incorporated into the app and then resubmitted to either Google or Apple's App Store. So it's highly complex, it's touchy, and you have to do it correctly. Not only that, if you're an app developer, it's costing you $3 or $4 to acquire a user. Dollars. On the web, it's cheap, right? But to get your app installed on either of those two platforms, it's significant. So it's a much more technical, complex area, but we've invested significantly in it because there's hundreds of millions of people that spend hours and hours of their time in those applications.
But don't we still have the paradigm that we call the app graveyard, which is like 80% of those that download a free app open it once, and no more than once, and 90% open it, right? No more than twice,
yeah,
or the opposite, I guess. I'm sorry. But I mean, how do you, how do publishers, that seems like a much bigger business challenge than refreshing content, is just changing the usage behaviors. Like,
it's a huge challenge.
So how is content and refreshment of that driving, like how is that in a very mechanical way driving more usage and consumption?
How is content driving the?
Well, no, I mean, what is the partnership with you? How is that changing? Fighting the app graveyard, which is just the sort of the truth that we know in the apps in general for free publishers, right?
Well, look, publishers are grappling with this thing in a lot of different ways, and what we can do is help them monetize their web properties and bring traffic to those web properties from our audience and applications. Because not all of them are going to be able to do what we've done over the past 2.5 years and really penetrate that. So we can bring huge scale from very brand safe integrations and let them monetize that and enjoy it. And that's where most of the mobile web is coming from. It's app referrals from a social media placement on a social application.
Right. And so that mobile first sort of perception is that it's just a sort of a source of their audience and looking at a different way and how they bring them.
That's right.
And how does that change as far as how you incentivize someone that is in an app to go somewhere else?
Well, look, you give them a good experience and they're going to partake in it. And it's very important not to interrupt that user because, again, they're worth $3 to the developer. And if you think web publishers are sensitive to interrupting people with all kinds of ads, app developers are hugely sensitive. So it has to be an opt-in experience. It has to be part of the natural rhythm of what's going on in that app. And then there has to be some value in it for the user.
Okay, so 2014 was a bang-em-up year. What does the rest of 2015 look like?
Well, 2015 is an exciting time for us because we're probably going to grow 100% again. The challenge now is to take these two sets of clients we have and continue to service them and grow the products that we have. I don't think we're going to launch any big new initiatives other than one that we've talked about before, you and I, which is an interstitial unit that's going to be an app. And we're able to do that with some of our publishers in a way that makes them happy so that they're not having that interruptive experience. And I think that will open up much more inventory for our publishers and our brands that want it.
Awesome. Thanks, Mitchell.
My pleasure.